Hi everyone, and welcome to our final video update of the PPC Aruba World Championships 2016 edition. Wow, what a week.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. Reuben Bresler along with AJ Sacher, our amazing blog team. First guys, great job this week.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You didn't do too shabby yourself,
I
sir.
do my best. Well, first, of course, the main event just wrapped up, but we did have one other event finishing up, and AJ, you just covered event number 9.
I did indeed.
So talking to that mic and give us a rundown on that one.
Well, there were only 6 slots paying, which is quite a jump. When your jump is from 0 to over $4,000, that bubble is everybody's chasing it, right? So there was a lot of folding down below 10 bigs, but we got there eventually. And then as soon as the bubble popped, one player was eliminated, and then the other 5 decided they were done playing poker and just made a deal.
Sure.
There were 5 players, and 4 of them had about, 8-ish big blinds, and the other player had a huge stack that covered the rest of them multiple times over.
2/3 of the chips in play by himself or
Yeah.
something like that, yeah.
So they decided that he, being Adam White, was the champion, and the rest of them would chop it up. One of the other players chopping it up with him, his father, Richard.
Yes.
Very cool.
Not a bad day of poker for the White family.
Yeah, we met them at Maryland Live a while back. A terrific couple of guys. Made the same main event together one day. Ryan made a little deeper run than his dad, but what a great scene for those guys. And Rodriguez, second runner-up finish of the series too.
Yeah, in back-to-back days.
Yep.
He did it last night in the double black chip bounty, and then again in the 50K guarantee. So not too shabby of a weekend for him either.
Not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously had some terrific runs here in this series. Just kind of looking back first over, a lot of the events that we had here. A couple players stood out. John Orr had a great run, a few final tables for him. Aristoteles Neto did a fantastic job.
Yep.
I know he chopped for a title. Of course, also our other champions that we had, probably should mention them real quick. Jim Beadnell, who we're going to mention here in just a little bit, won event number 1.
Yeah.
Mondo Steve Furman picks up event number 2. And then his tag team partner, Whit Brayton, ends up winning event 3.
The coast-to-coast connection, picking up events 2 and 3.
You betcha. Event number 4, of course, Tom Clements winning that one. And then we get to event 6, Rob Lee, a winner there. And then event 7, Reuben, you covered that.
Arjun Den Hartog.
Thank you.
He was the winner.
Edges out Max Zappatelli from Canada to win that one. Bill McCown in event 8, and what a story that was. He took the player of the year lead.
Took the lead, and with 3 players remaining, was still live for player of the year. Had everything fallen exactly right with the right player in first, second, and third. Obviously, it didn't work out that way for him, but he had the lead in the clubhouse heading into the final 3 of the main event final table.
Yeah.
How insane of a backdoor dark horse player of the year win would that have been?
Just sit there biting your nails, hoping for everyone to fall in the right exact position.
Yeah, and James Sloat's going to be a little bit disappointed. He came in with about a 200-point lead, but obviously that was very vulnerable. But I didn't even see James's name on the cash list this time. What a disappointment that's. And James is a terrific player, not putting him down, but that's got to be a little bit disappointing.
And he's going to be able to have another bite at the apple at the PPC Tournament of Champions as the Maryland Live defending champ. From a couple months back.
Yeah, so, but a lot of great events, and certainly the main event though capping this off, and we had a terrific day 3 here. A wonderful final table with some terrific pros. Jose Montez going over the $1 million earning mark. Yeah. Steve Karp in there, Christian Harder in there, Rios in there as well. I mean, just Dorian Rios, but Stephen Deutsch just managed to get it done with Jim Beadnell. Really had looked like Jim had a shot to run away with it for a little while, but just couldn't quite cap it off. And he and Rios just kept pounding on each other for a very long time. And Deutsch took advantage and ended up winning the tournament.
Yeah, Stephen Deutsch had game plans for every portion of the tournament and stuck to those game plans, and it just worked out for him.
Yeah, during your winner's interview with him, it really showed, especially during 3-handed play, what his game plan was. He just let the other 2 players play their games against each other. and that fit into Deutsch's master plan perfectly. He just waited for heads up, and then once heads up happened, he was going to lean on whoever he was up against, and it worked like a charm.
Yeah, and of course, Stephen Deutsch, very happy man, obviously, not only winning that, but we had a heads-up match that not only determined the main event champion, but the player of the year as well, which Deutsch ends up coming out on top. Boy, you don't see something like that happen very often on any poker tour.
No, that's a great... the fact that either of them could have won the title and the player of the year title in that heads-up match just gave it even more weight when it is the most weighted
it's already
heads-up
the
match
most
of
weighted.
the year.
Yeah, and B. Nell, of course, had a terrific run. I believe 3 final tables, I believe, in this series, including the Event 1 championship, and came so close to, with getting a 4th final table and nearly winning it all here. But Stephen Deutsch is the man of the hour, and for the first time, the Player of the Year award goes to Maryland Live and gets pulled out of Tampa.
Yeah, there you go. So score one for the Crabbies.
Yeah.
The Crabbers. They like being the Crabbers, right? Is Maryland? As opposed to the Floridians. The Silks Poker Room, by the way, was dominating the final 3 tables of this tournament. They had something like half of the remaining players with 30 players to go, but again, Maryland Live scores the win.
Yep, and a very diverse final table. What do you got, AJ? First, what are you going to take away from this series? I know this is your first time here.
Other
so.
than the $600 that you made for your 4th place finish
Yes,
in Event
congratulations
1.
on your final
Thank
table, you little
thank
weasel.
Well, Jim Bednell was the one that knocked me out of that, so that makes sense.
There you go.
2 things. One, coming to Aruba and seeing all of these people here with this one sort of shared love and experience is a beautiful thing. And also, I had a lot of fun covering the PLO tournament. That was unbelievable. It's such a good game anyway, and then you had the bounties, and people just lose their minds. There were people drinking and having fun, and that covering that event was an absolute blast.
Reuben, what about you?
The one thing I really like about the PPC is rooting for your home team. There's certain tournament series where you're just out for yourself, and then some people have like little cliques that they root for, but really the New Yorkers stuck together. Justin Swilling was the representative of the final table for them, and then the Maryland folks stuck together. Then you had the Wisconsin crew rooting for each other, and then you had the different Wisconsin St. Croix crew all rooting for each other, and you had these different sort of rooting interests. It was much more like going to a sporting event and seeing fan sections, much more than you ever see in most tournament series of this size. That's one of the things I love so much about the PPC. And the other thing is everyone is just happy for each other. At a lot of poker tournaments, there's a lot of saltiness or anger or frustration, and there's some of that, certainly. But at the PPC, when you lose, you're still excited for the people who are winning, because almost everyone to a T is nice and interesting and fun to be with. And when you get knocked out, you just go to the tiki bar and get a drink with them.
Yeah, it's one happy island. It's hard to be that mad.
And it's even happier when the croons are here, right? And when Vincente Cham is walking around with his interesting company.
Shout out to the D's. They were
the British
fun
gang
throughout.
The invasions of the British.
Yeah.
That was they're always a ton of fun. So that is something that I always look forward to when it comes to the PPC.
Yeah, and then just my thoughts about how this series went. Obviously we picked up a few more great pros coming down here, Michael Pahuja and Park and Carp and so many others. Christian Harder obviously won his way down. He's the ambassador for Maryland Live. Ryan Van Sanford showing up. So many terrific players came down here, but you can just really see the sense of family growing on this tour. As you go around, it's not a tour of the World Poker Tour. It's elites. You do have some great elite players that do play on this tour, but it's just such a camaraderie, and this Aruba event really ties all that together, and you can just feel it when everybody walks in the room. You come back and it's almost like a family reunion every year down here, as opposed to
I got that sense for sure. It was seeing people who live on opposite sides of the country coming together once again to hang out and play poker.
Yeah, it's just such a wonderful atmosphere. And one thing that happened in the main event that just broke me, Joan Sandoval taking that tough beat in 6th place in the main event, could have been on her way to maybe being player of the year and the champ, but a rough run of cards and that brutal river sent her home. But so many people rallied around her. And instead of just saying, just let her go and who cares, so many people were by her side when she went down. And that's kind of what this thing is all about. It's everybody wants to come down here, win and succeed, but we all know the first priority kind of is just we won our way down. Let's have some fun.
Exactly. I mean, it's Aruba. Everybody's going to try to have some fun. And usually when you're like, oh, it's about the fun, it's not that serious. This was $133,000 up top for first place. It's not like it's a small tournament series. It's
Right.
a $2,400 buy-in that had 226 runners in it.
Yep.
That's a big tournament.
Yeah.
So to have that sense of camaraderie combined with the prestige of actually winning a huge amount of money is a super unique thing that I'm proud to be a part of.
Yeah, and of course, we would be remiss if we didn't first congratulate the staffs of Maryland Live and Tampa Bay Downs who were down here running the tournament. The dealers were incredible.
Yeah.
That's one of the fun things about going to the Silks is these guys just rarely make a mistake, and when they do, it's just something so minuscule.
Absolutely. Shout out to Styx and to Logan, who dealt the final table for the 10 hours in a row. Those two guys handled the whole thing.
Yeah, and of course, Mike Smith and Patrick Murphy running the show. Of course, Mike from Maryland Live and Patrick from the Silks at Tampa Bay Downs did an unbelievable job keeping things going. There was not a hitch in this tournament the whole way. And then, of course, we got to give a shout out to Brian Olin and Sandy Swartzbaugh, who put this whole thing together. They had a vision about where they wanted to take this, and boy, it is there. I mean, next year, I'm already looking forward to next year.
Right,
we're talking 40+ tour stops and all sorts of terrific things happening. I can't imagine what this place is going to be like in 2017.
Yeah, with the prize, this year we had a jump in the main event buy-in from 1,700 last
17
year
to 24,
to
yeah.
24, which is a pretty big jump, and the number suffered a little bit, but not that much. I mean, the main event.
It was like
prize
I think it was 8 entries, if I remember
Yeah,
right. Something like
the
that.
prize pool was significantly larger this year, and it's only going to grow. All I heard at the World Series this past year, the World Series of Poker, the most prestigious poker tournament, was you got to get down to Aruba for the PPC, and I can't see that ever stopping.
Yeah, and of course, I got to thank the ambassadors of the tour, Ronnie Barta, Mark Kroon. Of course, Sean Rice was out here too, doing the announcing, most of the
done
announcing
by
for the
Sean
fun, and he did
Rice.
a terrific job, keeping things rolling here for everybody. And once again, thanks to the Hilton Aruba for hosting the tournament. Just a beautiful facility, and of course, the Hyatt and the Mill hotels. The Hyatt's that might be my. I love the Hilton too, but the Hyatt is just an amazing place, and everybody enjoys all the hotels we get to stay at, and the staff here is
They're all
fantastic
right on the
too.
beach, so it's
Yeah,
hard to complain
they're all,
too much.
They're
no
all
matter
right on the
what.
beach. They all have lobbies right outside with palm trees, and you get to enjoy the weather the whole time. So
Pretty lovely.
you should get down here. Is the point?
Yeah, next year, boy, we're going to be all over the country. We've got stops just about every region of the nation right now, and plus, up in Canada, we're everywhere, and some more great news to come, I'm sure. I've heard a few rumors, so we'll see where this all ends up.
New spots are great, but I want to go back to St. Croix.
Me too. It was so much fun.
The turtle is just turtle power, man. That's the one.
Well, it's been a great year here on the PPC Poker Tour. Of course, technically it's not done yet because the Champion of Champions series coming up at Maryland Live starting in the end of November. We're going to see a lot of the main event champions in one tournament battling it out for that championship. Plus, it is an open series, too, for a lot of other events. So plenty of opportunities for you to come on down and play at Maryland Live. Just go to ppcpokertour.com and check out the schedule for this year's, inaugural Champion of Champions tournament series. It's going to be a lot of fun. But sadly, we are done here in Aruba.
Well, I guess there's nothing left to do but go gamble.
And write recaps. Oh, God.
No! We have more recaps.
Yes, we will. Well, Marky going to be a busy boy tonight.
Yeah.
But once again, AJ and Reuben, thank you for your great work this week.
you.
Absolutely.
Do appreciate you coming down. Hope
Great
you had
thanks
fun.
to the Mark Hoke Show, the
Yes.
official reporting partner of the PPC Poker Tour.
Yep, had a blast. So, on behalf of AJ and Reuben, and of course the entire PPC Poker Tour team, we want to thank you for following along on everything on the PPC Poker Tour site, on our live updates, of course on these video updates we've been putting down on social media. Thanks to all of the players for coming down and making it a very special 2016 PPC Aruba World Championship Series. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for being with us. Hey, we'll see you at Maryland Live for the Champion of Champions, and then join us for the 2017 schedule back in January.
Wow. No rest for the wicked.
No rest for the weary on that. So follow us on the tour, and of course follow the social media at PPC Poker Tour on Facebook and Twitter. Gentlemen, we're out of here. Thanks for being with us. We will see you at the Champion of Champions tournament, everybody. Good night.